From the O'Connell Center on the campus of the University of Florida in Gainesville, Sun Sports presents Florida Gator Gymnastics. Tonight, it's the Gators playing host to the Crimson Tide of Alabama. And a very pleasant good evening to you, along with former Gator All-American Melissa Miller-Schubeck. I'm Larry Vitale, welcoming you to the O'Connell Center and two of the best teams in the nation going head-to-head. It should be a great gymnastics meet between the Florida Gators and the Crimson Tide. Both were in the Super Six last year and both likely to be in the Super Six at the NCAA Championships again this year. And Melissa, for the Florida Gators, not only our basketball team and the football team chanting it, but the gymnastics team chanting, "We're number one."
Exactly. This is only the third time that Florida has been ranked number one. And you can see why, looking at that ranking, they are returning 7 All-Americans and 23 of their competitive routines from 24 last year.
The Florida Gators coming in looking awfully strong, but so too Alabama. A little different Alabama team, ranked number 4 in the nation, and a very young team for a traditional power.
Very young. They have 9 of their 15 gymnasts, either freshmen or sophomores. They started off this season against Oklahoma and had a rough start. That inexperience came through, but they finished and they won, and they had Cassie Price as an all-arounder to lead them through that. Now, she is ranked 4th nationally and tied with Florida superstar Ashley Reed. Another individual to watch is the Alabama Olympian Taryn Humphrey.
So it should be a great match. Great individuals, obviously, in this meet, and great competition as well between the Florida Gators and Alabama. Earlier, I spoke with Coach Rhonda Fain and got her thoughts on the dual meet with the Crimson Tide.
The stronger opponents that we have, we do even better. And so I'm really excited for tonight because Alabama is a top team. And I think our athletes will put their best out there on the floor.
Well, we're just about set for the first rotation. The Florida Gators will vault. The Crimson Tide will be on the uneven bars when we return to Gainesville after this short timeout. Good crowd on hand and continuing to file into the O'Connell Center in Gainesville as we get set for our first rotation. Alabama will be on the uneven bars and the Florida Gators will vault in the first round of competition here. Number 1 Florida, number 4 Alabama, and leading off the Gator lineup is a senior Brianne King.
And this Florida team has really increased their difficulty on this event. There's 3 girls that are working a Yurchenko 1.5. Nice Yurchenko full, 1 big hop at the end. You're going to see the round-off entry onto the vault. Nice tight body. The goal tonight is really just going to be to stick those landings.
9.80 for Brianne King, getting Florida off to a good start with a solid vault. And we'll head over to the bars, and this is Alabama's Caitlin White.
Last week against Oklahoma, Caitlin scored a 9.775, so she'll be hoping to increase that score. Nice release move. Making the bar changes from the high to the low bar, which is requirements. Her coaches also say she's in the best shape of her life right now. Nice giant full into her tuck double back and 1 big hop on the landing. She was nice and clean throughout the routine. There's her release move, nice height, a little bit of leg separation at the bottom.
And a 9.725 for Alabama's Caitlin White. Now we go back over to the vault and catch up with the Gators. This is Katie Root.
Another Yurchenko full. Pretty good landing. Her season high is a 9.8 on this event.
And she matches it with a 9.8, and the consistency at the start of the rotation for the Gators with King and Rue, you can pretty much count on them putting up a decent score and getting things started. Here's Morgan Dennis, outstanding bar worker for Alabama.
And last week she competed against Oklahoma doing an exhibition on this event. One of her teammates got hurt last week, and so she's filling in. Nice high release move. In these dual meets, each team will perform with all eyes on the bars at this point. Alternating teams. Nice double front dismount and 1 step on the landing. See that reverse grip into a nice high tuck double front.
And her score, a 9.825. So Alabama with consistent scores to start things off here in this opening rotation. We go back over to the vault, and the Gators' Nicola Willis, a native of England.
She's missed only one vault lineup during her collegiate career. Very strong event for her. Nice high Yurchenko full, lots of power, but needs to probably block up a little more. She had lots of distance on it. A little bit of trouble getting that landing. That's going to hurt her score.
9-7-0 for Willis. We see a variety of steps on the landing. Maybe next routine we'll take a look and see how big of a deduction each one is, because they do vary. Meanwhile, here's a top competitor for Alabama, a freshman from Plantation, Florida, Cassie Price. Price now tied with Florida's Ashley Reed, ranked #1 in the nation in all-around.
And she's been a strong asset to this Alabama team. They are young, but she's been awesome. You see a nice release move. She earned a silver on the bars at the 2006 World Cup, so this shows you her experience on this event. She moves with nice speed. You see the power getting ready for that dismount. Double layout, one big hop. Good, nice lift. Just need to work on sticking those landings.
We haven't seen many landings that they've been able to stick on either one of the lines so far in this opening rotation, and that's maybe not surprising early in the season. A lot of competitions ahead for these teams. Here's Amanda Castillo, Gator freshman. She was in the gym with Price last year down in Orlando.
And she's very powerful on this event. Nice high, Yurchenko full, a little bit of hop on the landing, a little bit short, falling forward on that landing. But lots of great power, nice straight body position. And as you said, just working on those landings as early in the season, but those tenths are really going to add up as the season goes on.
Each foot or each jump or each step considered a tenth?
Generally, one step is a tenth, a hop is 2, but sometimes they don't always take it. It just depends.
And staying with the Gators now on the vault, here's Ashley Reed off to a great start in her junior year.
And she's been the anchor for this Florida vault lineup for the second consecutive meet. Great event for her, great vault. She considers the vault to be her best event, and you can see why. Nice high lift and a very solid landing.
That's the best landing the Gators have, and as a result, Ashley Reed, the Florida Gator junior, in the anchor spot in the Gator lineup with a strong 9.90 score. And now Taryn Humphrey from Alabama to wrap up our first rotation.
And she's an Olympic silver medalist on this event, and as a freshman, the NCAA bar champion. She's ranked 3rd nationally at this point on the event. She had surgery on both elbows to remove some bone chips, and her coaches didn't expect her to recover so quickly. But as you can see, she looks like she's at full strength already. Nice double layout, one hop on the end. So she has great form, nice stretched body, and again, have to work on those landings. Those tenths are really going to add up.
And a very strong 9.90 for Taryn Humphrey, the top score for Alabama in our opening rotation. Solid scores for both teams. Now we'll flip-flop. Bama will vault the Gators to the bars when we return to the O'Connell Center in Gainesville. We get set for the second rotation here at the O'Connell Center. Alabama with the slightest of edges, .075 over the Florida Gators after our first rotation. We'll see how the second one plays out. We'll go to Alabama on the vault. This is Brittany McGee. Our first look at her, a sophomore.
And you'll notice most of these gymnasts performing 10-0 vaults. They start from a 10-0 value. Yurchenko full, nice landing. She was the NCAA regional vault champion. Very solid. Maybe a little bit of distance would have helped on her score.
And a 9.85 for Brittany McGee of Alabama. Crimson Tide, every score has been 9-7 or better. They've been very consistent. Florida had a fall on vault, but did not have to count it. And we continue on vault, Alabama. Here's Morgan Dennis.
Nice high Yurchenko full. You can see the difference when you see someone like this perform their vault in the height and the distance that they have. But, of course, again, working on that landing, so much power. One big step at the end, but beautiful vault.
And because of that power, a little higher score despite the step on the landing for Morgan Dennis. And Alabama continues to score well. Here for the Florida Gators is Ashley Reed.
We talked about vault being her best event, but actually this is her favorite event, the uneven bars. Free hip handstand into a nice Tkachev. Then fulfilling that requirement for the release move, moving down to the low bar with the overshoot handstand. Nice tight form. Nice double layout dismount, big hop at the end, but she's looking to add, right here at the end when she's doing that double layout, she's looking to add a full twist. That may help with the landing. It looks like she's got more power than she needs.
Ashley Reed with a 9.775 for the Florida Gators. Ashley coming on strong in her junior year as injury problems much of her sophomore season, but seems to be completely healthy. Now our second look at Taryn Humphrey.
You see Yurchenko with a half twist front pike. First vault that we've seen that's a little different tonight. High score for her has been a 9.90 and one big hop at the end.
And a 9.85 for Taryn Humphrey, who has a couple of good scores to start out the all-around competition. Now for the Florida Gators, another member of the senior class that is so large and so talented. This is Samantha Lutz.
She has won the last 2 regional uneven bar championships and also All-American on this event. Nice upright handstand, a little bit of trouble there. She's continuing to move on, but you could see it was a little bit of break in her routine.
That's got to be awfully hard when it happens early in the routine as well.
Right. She's pretty tough. She'll come back strong and finish this routine. She has that experience. That's what makes her so great on this event. See lots of power into this dismount. Full twist and double back. One little step. This is one of her favorite skills in gymnastics. She does it very well.
And a 9.725 despite the slow start for Samantha Lutz. Cassie Price, the Florida girl. It's got to be fun to compete here in Gainesville.
Well, she was tied for first in vault last week against Oklahoma. Nice Yurchenko 1.5 twist. You've seen the girls performing the full twist. You see a 1.5 twist, blind landing, very difficult, one little step.
Usually it's a step forward or back. That was a side step. And a 9.85 for Price as Alabama continues to post consistent scores here in the vault. And now for the Gators over to the bars. Here's Amanda Castillo.
She had a little bit of trouble last week with her Tkachev catching her foot on the bars. Let's just see how she does today. She has a routine packed with difficulty. You see her release move. Into another release move. There's a Jaeger and a Tkachev in this routine.
You get extra credit for that with the judges?
Well, you can only start from a 10-0. That's as high as you're able to start. So the more difficulty, the better. Double layout and a great landing. Taking a look at this great lift. Finally got a stick tonight.
Well, it feels good to nail the landing, and Amanda Castillo, the Gators' best score so far, with a 9.90. And Corey Hartung, we'll see if she can top that. 3-time All-American last year.
And she's so pretty on this event. You see the power of Amanda Castillo, but with Corey, you see just the grace and the strength that she has. Very flowing. She has acquired new skills on this event, and she credits that to the new assistant coach, Adrian Burde. He's been a big asset to this program this year. Using her flexibility, you can see. Getting ready for her dismount. Full twist and double back in a tuck position. Pretty solid landing. See some of the girls performing it with straight legs. She performs it in a tuck position. A little bit easier to rotate.
And for the Gators, another 9.90 for Corey Hartung. So Florida finishes strongly on the bars with back-to-back 9.90s as they try to keep up with the Crimson Tide of Alabama. We're midway through the meet. We'll continue with beam and floor exercise routines after this timeout on Sun Sports. Big crowd at the O'Connell Center, and we are midway through the dual meet between the Florida Gators and the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Bama leading by .225 after the first two rotations. So the Gators have some catching up to do. Florida will be on balance beam, and Alabama's on the floor. And here on the beam for the Gators, Brianne King.
She's in a little different position this year in the lineup. Last year she anchored the Florida beam, and depending on how the team had done when it came to her turn was what skills she put in her routine. So that was kind of neat that she could do that. And of course now being so consistent though, starting off with Florida. You see a nice side summy. That was the skill that she would either put in or out depending on how they had done. This is a great event for her. Ever since she's been a Gator, she's been in the beam lineup. Nice front aerial into a back handspring step out. So far this year, she's hit all three beam routines.
I think Rhonda Fain really likes having Katie Rue and Brianne King at the start of the beam lineup, and Katie started out with a 9.825 tonight, and you just know you're going to get a good start.
It shows you the strength. Rhonda Fain says she can do whatever she wants in her routine this year, being at the beginning, and that shows you the strength of this Florida beam team. Here's her dismount, round off, double twist. Great solid start for Florida on beam.
A 9.825 for Brianne King. So the Gators with a couple of good scores as they try to close the gap on Alabama. And our first look at Alabama senior Erin Rightly from Fort Walton Beach. You could have waved at her house on the way over from Pensacola to Gainesville, huh?
But she's provided a lot of depth for Alabama, mostly on the balance beam and the floor exercise. Run up a handspring pike double back. Alabama is ranked #1 nationally on the floor exercise. Always been a great event for them ever since I can remember. 1.5 twist into a nice high layout step out. One thing I was noticing in reading the media guide is Florida and Alabama both are not only great gymnasts, but they're also great students. She's a Scholastic All-American and an Academic All-SEC. Both of these coaches really strive for that in these athletes, not just to be a great athlete, but a student as well.
Well, it's not often you hear going into a big gymnastics meet, so-and-so is academically ineligible. That's just not the kind of thing gymnastics coaches have to deal with. And it's a credit to these young women and their upbringing and their ability to spread their time around effectively and discipline.
Well, they learn discipline in this sport, and they carry it all the way through college, and you can see that. It's a beautiful routine for Erin.
Erin Rightly competing in her home state. And a strong floor routine.
Taking a look at that nice high pike double back.
And a 9.850 for the Crimson Tide senior. We go back over to the beam, and here's the Gator freshman, Melanie Sinclair.
And she's got a lot of difficulty that you don't normally see in a collegiate competition on the balance beam. So that front flip to the side of the beam to start with. You'll see a lot of the gymnasts just getting on the beam as easy as they can, not Melanie. Nice full twisting back handspring, a little bobble. Gator back handspring, layout, step out. Now she had lots of trouble on the bar, so be interesting to see if she can recover on this event. Definitely one of the hardest events to recover on when you've already made mistakes in the evening.
You see Coach Rhonda Fain right there looking on.
She competed in the U.S. Olympic trials in 2004 and placed 12th in the all-around. Another full twisting back handspring with a straddle down. You You can see what makes some of these routines stand out from the other ones with just this little added difficulty. Tough thing is, though, it's taking a risk where they could fall on that skill very easily. Nice finish with a pike double back and a great landing. You see she recovered nicely from the mess-ups on the uneven bars and stuck the landing for her pike double back.
So Melanie Sinclair with a 9.850. Sinclair will be going all around more frequently as the season goes along, but a good routine tonight for the Gators. And now over to Alabama's 8-time All-American, Taryn Humphrey.
And she did have trouble on this event last week, scoring a 9.40. But she's an All-American on this event, so she should be able to pull off a great performance. Nice front double, Arabian front double. Very unique. She is Alabama's first Olympian. Lots of other SEC schools have had Olympians, but this will be Alabama's first.
And that's a trend that's changed over the years. 10, 15 years ago, the Olympians would never be found on a collegiate team, but now more and more they're continuing their careers.
Right, you see a 2.5 twist into a punch front. And you're right, Larry, back then your body would be so worn down from the training by the time they got older that they couldn't compete. But now, it's, you know, they look forward to competing as a collegiate gymnast. The reputation for it has gotten so much better.
And I think the crowd support also helps. They got 6,000 plus tonight. Alabama averaged 12,000 at home last year, so that keeps the energy going as well.
Last year against Florida, they sold out at 15,000 for gymnastics meet.
That's something. Holman Coliseum.
Pike double back, and she stuck the landing. Very nice routine for Taryn.
Showing her All-American form to the crowd at the O'Connell Center.
She's not only an All-American gymnast, but she also is an accomplished horsewoman and barrel racer. She does it all.
I could race a barrel. 9.875 for Taryn Humphrey. Now we go back to Florida. Here's Corey Hartung.
This is one of her best events. She's a first-team All-American on this event, tying for 5th at the national championships. Corey has added lots of difficulty on a few of the events. We talked about her adding the difficulty on bars, and she's also added some difficulty here on the balance beam with a switch ring leap. Front aerial. Back handspring, layout, step out, right on. She always seems so relaxed and calm on the balance beam. She's also the Gator tri-captain, so this team looks to her to lead this team.
She had such a tremendous freshman year.
I think the hardest part for Florida is just trying to figure out who's going to be in the lineup. They have so many great athletes this year. Round off 2.5 twist and a great landing. See that dismount, that blind landing? Rhonda Fame very excited about that routine.
And the best score of the night so far, a 9.925 for Corey Hartung as Florida continues to perform well on beam. And here's an absolutely crucial routine for the Gators. Amanda Castillo, the last Gator on beam after Ashley Reed had fallen. So this is a must performance for Florida to stay in this meet.
Well, this has got to be a tough position for her to be in as a freshman, knowing the importance of this meet. Anytime Florida and Alabama go head-to-head, it's a big deal. It's competitive, just like football and basketball. Back handspring layout with her feet together. You see the step outs quite often, but not as many when they land with their feet together. The standing layout step out. She's the smallest Gator on the team at 4'10 and a half. Slight bobble there on her jump combination. She did not compete on beam at the Super 6 Challenge, so she's really working on improving her consistency on this event. Pike double back, one step on the landing.
So Amanda Castillo gets through the routine for the Florida Gators.
That's got to be a relief just to come off that beam. Even though she had one slight little bobble, just to stay on the balance beam for that was really important for this Florida team. Nice finish, just one little step at the end.
And the Florida freshman gets a 9.725. Not a great score, but certainly good enough to give the Gators a chance heading into the final rotation. Florida will be on floor. He can't wait. And we'll be right back to show it to you. Gator crowd getting excited about the final rotation. Florida trails by .325, so they've got to have a great floor routine in order to catch the 4th-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama that has been very consistent so far this evening. Cassie Price has been consistent this evening, and she's on beam right now.
She has come on strong as a freshman, showing lots of consistency in all of the events. Front aerial, front flip. Switch leap to a straddle jump. For acro series, handspring layout, step out. Slight bobble on that. As you said, she is from Plantation, Florida, and trained at the Orlando Metro.
Of course, half the Florida roster trained at Orlando Metro. That is becoming well known nationally as a headquarters for outstanding young gymnasts.
See, nice side summy, very difficult move. And again, as we said earlier, the routines are starting from, if they have the difficulty in, they're from a 10-0. So the more difficulty they do, the better, but they can only start from so much, but that can help them in the end. Round off pike double back, one little step on the end.
But Cassie Price has been consistent all night long, consistent today.
She's handling the pressure well for a freshman.
9.875 the score for the Alabama freshman. And now we head over to floor, and the Gator lineup led off by Miss Consistency, Katie Rue.
And her routine is a favorite of the Rumblin' Tumblin' Reptiles, which is the student booster group here at Florida. It's a hip-hop medley, very crowd appealing. Another great thing about Katie, she has a couple of difficult skills that she can choose from. We'll see which one she's going to start with. Full twist and double back.
Now that step at the end, very different from a step coming off one of the other apparatus, right?
Right. Even on the floor, it's nice to see the girls land with their feet side by side, but that step back is not a deduction. Of course, unless it's out of bounds. Whip half. Nice move. Again, some of these passes may not look as difficult as others, and they are. It just doesn't appear that way. You'll see nowadays a lot of twisting moves as opposed to just the double backs.
Do the judges have a list of the elements so they know them, or are they expected to pick them up as they go along?
Well, they have to study and know these requirements and know where these routines are starting their value from. You'll see a lot of the same passes throughout the day. Finishing strong with a nice pike double back, great landing. Taking a look, she's just a powerful tumbler. Nice high, full twisting, double back. She threw the double layout last week, but this week she pulled out the full twist and double back. And again, a pike double back. A great finish for the end of the routine when they're so tired.
9.825 for Katie Rue. Of course, she ended it with the Gator chomp, and that's one of the things you have to look for in each Florida floor routine is where's the chomp going to come. And here's Savannah Evans. Savannah Evans, an outstanding floor exercise competitor for the Gators.
She had battled the flu and some injuries when she came back from the holiday break, so last week's floor performance was her first competitive appearance. She is also a crowd pleaser. Nice high front double. Very unique. You won't really see that too often.
Well, you know somebody likes to perform when on their list of goals they include diving off a whale's snout at SeaWorld. You know she likes to perform.
1.5 twist into a front full. And a lot of people ask about the mats on the floor that you see. That can be allowed as long as you see the chalk marks showing the boundaries for the floor exercise. I find it kind of hard to tumble off of. You saw her running back for her second pass from the mat, but obviously she has no trouble at all. The last time these two teams competed in the O'Connell Center, she hit her floor routine for collegiate best 9.95.
Gators beat Alabama here in the O'Connell Center 2 years ago, but last year fell to Alabama all 3 times they competed.
See if she can finish strong here. Nice high tuck double back. A great routine for Savannah. Again, they've got so much power in their tumbling on this Florida team. Finishing strong, looks like it was just as simple as her first pass.
And a 9.90 for Florida's Savannah Evans. The Gators have got to be great on the floor to have a chance to catch Alabama. And next up for Alabama, senior Erin Rightly. And this is a key routine for Bama because Ricky Lebergern has just fallen on the beam for the Crimson Tide. You can deduct your lowest score, so Alabama needs to hit its final 2 beam routines in order to avoid counting that, and that's a 5/10. That's the difference between the teams right now.
And she is their only senior. You see a slight bobble already. That's going to be a couple of tenths deduction, but she is their only senior, so they'll be looking to her to pull off a strong performance under this pressure situation. Back handspring layout, step out, and a fall. That's really going to hurt them.
The right foot is kind of half on, half off the beam, and she appeared to hurt it a little bit on that tumbling pass. We'll see if Rightly's able to finish her routine.
And sometimes it's difficult traveling away. You're competing on different equipment than what you're used to, and that can play a part in your performance. Looks like she's just struggling throughout this whole routine just to keep her composure and to stay on this beam. This has been a strong event for her. Last year in regional, she placed 3rd on the balance beam. Jump combination. Again, a slight bobble. And it doesn't matter if it's preseason or at the end of the season. Anytime, just like other SEC sports, anytime Florida and Alabama go head-to-head, it's going to be a tough competition. Nice gainer full dismount. Of course, Alabama has a comfortable lead going into this event. But you see her foot just slipping off there. And looking into her dismount, the gainer full. It looks like she's favoring that ankle.
Head coach Sarah Patterson in her 29th year checking on Erin Rightly. It's my foot. And as a result, a window of opportunity for the Gators. If they can nail all of their floor routines, or even all but one of their floor routines, they can win this meet. They've still got a lot of work to do, starting with Ashley Reed.
That's when the home crowd really comes into play, because floor is always just such an exciting event for the Gator fans, and they can really boost this team at this point. Nice high full twist and double back. She has a new floor routine this year set to the mile-high jump.
You know, Melissa, you talk about getting the crowd into it. That first tumbling pass is the key to that. You nail that, all of a sudden that crowd just really gets energized.
Exactly, and the more fun the girl has throughout the routine, the easier it is for the crowd to get into that. And of course, when you're landing your passes like that, that's not hard to do.
want to talk about having fun with a routine. Don't miss the end of this one if she ends it like she did last week against Oregon State.
It's always refreshing to come in with a new routine, wants the crowd to see that. And if you've done a routine for a year or two, it gets kind of old after a while, so it kind of adds a lot of excitement for the girls having a brand new, fresh routine. She won this event at the Super 6 Challenge. Always a strong event for her. Nice finish with a pike double back. Great ending. I love it. Let's take a look at this great tumbling. Nice high, full twisting, double back. Lots of difficulty on this floor-to-floor routines.
And I've never seen a finish like this one.
Nice high pike double. I don't know what you call that, but it looks like she's having fun.
Absolutely having a great time, as is the crowd of 6,000 plus here at the O'Connell Center. A 9.925. The Ashley Reed performance, certainly one the judges liked as well. The Gators could try to finish it off on the floor when we return. Could be a future Gator gymnast right there. You never know. As we continue, Florida and Alabama. Interestingly, the Gators have 4 falls, but haven't had to count any of them because of when they occurred. Alabama with just 2 falls, but both on the beam, so they have to count 1. So they need the Gators to struggle. If Florida can nail 2 of its final 3 floor routines, the Gators will win the meet.
And you know, this Florida team knows exactly what's going on, and they know that the door has been opened for them. Just a freshman already competing the all-around for the Gators last week, and will be doing that today. Nice whip pass into a tuck double back. Nice high energy routine. You can always see the girls' personality really come through on this event. Used to, between the passes, you would rest and get ready for the next pass, but it doesn't look like that anymore.
A lot of resting going on. There's always something. Again, that's a matter of the showmanship and also to keep the audience involved. You stop to rest, the audience might too.
Exactly. The judges as well. It gives them time to take that pen and get busy. She considers Florida to be her best event. Of course, the audience loving this mix of Ricky Martin songs.
Kind of hard to find this many people enjoying Ricky Martin songs these days.
Only when she's doing it. Nice finish with a pike double back. Great finish. She is the Junior Olympic National Level 10 floor exercise champion. So this is a great event for her, and you can see why. Great lift, double back in a pike position, and really playing up to the crowd.
And they've grown a little bit, about a 9.90. They wanted a little more for the Gator freshman, but she's content to chomp away, and Florida with another strong floor routine. And here's a young lady that's pretty consistent in this event as well, Corey Hartung.
Again, as we were talking about earlier with some of the girls, especially Hartung, her routine is a bit deceptive because it doesn't have the power tumbling like some of her previous teammates. But again, still starting from a 10-0. Triple twist. You're not going to see that quite as often as some of the double backs or the double layouts or full ends. Again, she uses her strength, which is her flexibility, great choreography to help her on this event. She's an All-American first-team selection on this, as well as Savannah Evans. Nowadays, it seems, you know, most of them start from a 10-0, so they have to stand out somehow. And her choreography just really seems to do that. Front double. She's already started off the season strong, winning this event last week with a 9.925. That's a pretty good score for early in the season.
Oh, absolutely. As you watch collegiate gymnastics, the difficulty is going higher and higher, and the high scores are coming earlier and earlier.
Right, whip into immediate 2.5 twist. Again, that doesn't look that hard, but that landing is very difficult. She does it very well.
Looks pretty hard to me.
A little bit of flexibility there at the end. She's just a great performer to watch on this event. There's that front double twist. It's not a high, powerful move, but it's all about the twist. Whip into an immediate 2.5 twist to finish.
9-9-0 for Corey Hartung. The Gators have posted 4 straight 9-9 or better scores on the floor. And now Taryn Humphrey of Alabama will try to finish on a strong note. She's in the all-around competition, but Bama's had consecutive falls on beam.
You see a very unique start to this routine. And as we said, on beam, any given day at a competition, there's any skill that you can really fall on. That spin that she was just doing doesn't look that hard, but she could fall on it very easily. That is extremely hard. Full twisting back handspring into a handspring layout step out. This is a great event for her. She's first team All-American on beam in 2005 and 2006. There's a punch front. Looks like she was landed a little low and just couldn't stand back up in time. Not looking good for Alabama.
Not something you see very often from Bama. A consistently great program, 23 times in the Super 6 in the last 24 years, and yet tonight 3 straight falls.
And especially from a gymnast like Taryn Humphrey, who was an Olympic silver medalist.
Of course, these teams will see each other at the SEC championships as well as NCAAs in most likelihood.
Her dismount round off. 2.5 twist. A little disappointed with that routine. There's that punch front. You see she didn't quite open up enough. Her chest was dropped and she couldn't stand back up in order to stay on the beam. And she really makes this dismount look very easy. As you can see the look on her face, not real happy with that performance, and knows what it has done for this competition.
The last 3 Alabama gymnasts, Lebergern, Wrightley, and Humphrey, all scoring below 9-3, and 2 of those scores have to count. Bama came in with a .325 lead, but the Gators have hit every floor routine and pulling this one out in the final rotation.
And Coach Rhonda Fain held Willis out of last week's competition on this event in order to get her ready for Alabama and then next week with Georgia. Great start. You see lots of power in her tumbling. She is a 2004 Olympian competing for Great Britain. Front full into a front tuck. A little bit of extra energy there.
It's kind of interesting to see such a different floor routine from Corey Hartung to Nicola Willis back to back.
Nicola has lots of power, as you can see, and she just utilizes that to help this routine. There's that gator chomp. You can tell maybe in her head she's thinking, we probably got this meat in the bag. Generally, by the time they get to their last pass, they know they can hit this last pass. Probably not a big concern for them. Nice high pike double back. Makes it look so easy. You can see all the power in this tumbling. That's why she's finishing for the Gators. Double layout. A nice high lift on the pike double back.
And another 9-9 for the Florida Gators. The last 5 Gator gymnasts on the floor, 9-9 or better. We'll be back to check out the scores and hear from the Florida coach after this timeout on Sun Sports. Now let's check out the results of today's meet at the O'Connell Center, and we start on the vault where Florida's Ashley Reed sets the pace, the Gator Junior, with a 9.90, edging out teammate Amanda Castillo for first place. On the uneven bars, a three-way tie, Castillo and Corey Hartung of the Gators, joined by Taryn Humphrey of Alabama, all at 9.90. Over on the balance beam, the highest score of the night, 9.925, goes to Hartung. She wins it for the Gators with Cassie Price of Alabama second. And over on the floor exercise, it was all Gators all the time, a 9.925 for Ashley Reed to win it. Four of her teammates at 9.90 as the Florida Gators have a great final rotation. The individual all-around goes to Cassie Price, the freshman from Plantation, Florida, by .050 ahead of Amanda Castillo of the Gators, but the Gators get the big win overall, trailing by .325. Heading into the final rotation, the Gators win it by more than a point over the fourth-ranked Crimson Tide. The joint was jumping, and the Gators responded.
I feed from the crowd, so I just try to show it off and I just do my best. We usually pick it up at the end. The last event, floor, it's always the most exciting event, so we try to get louder and get pumped up and try to help each other.
We did get ourselves in a little bit of a hole in the first couple of events, but I felt just on how they returned back strong on beam and then just did an unbelievable floor set. That was just really exciting to see them come back from that.
Exciting indeed. 49.525, the second best score on the floor in UF history. Our thanks to our executive producer, Jerry Wetzel, our producer, John Rubin, and our entire crew here at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville. For Melissa Miller-Schubeck, I'm Larry Battelle. We'll see you next time from the O-Dome with more Gator Gymnastics.
TV